excellent, my brother. I am excellent. Actually, this morning, was supposed to be Human's class. It was supposed to be, GPG's class. He actually messaged me last night and said, based on, a poll that I think Amy posted in his in Human's group in the GPG group, concerning that, I think it was 17% of traders don't have a trading plan or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Right. He said, he knows how strict I am with these kind of things. And, he thought that, I could come and like literally stick people to the wall with it. So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I mean, I didn't really have a topic plan for today. So I was like, all right. I mean, I've touched on this before, but I'll touch on it again. And I want to make something clear. You can't just operate in this space, in this world, right? You cannot without planning certain things. Listen, I'm going to send something to everybody now. I'll send it in the GPG chat, right? I'm sending it in the GPG chat and I'm sending it in my group. And I guess I'll send it in the Forex community as well, right? No context, right? Meaning, if you go in the chat, you will see. Listen, on my home screen, on my phone, I have reminders telling me what I have to do on any given day because I'm so busy. If I don't plan it out, trust me, I'm not going to get what I want to get, right? And that's how you need to look at trading. If you are not basically approaching trading from a space of, okay, I know this is what I want, I know that's what I want, I know this is how I'm going to go about it, you're not going to get the results that you want, right? What do you think about that, Bray? Agree or disagree?
Completely agree. It actually was reminding me of something I seen in your group this morning. I think someone was asking about your week, and then you had the analogy like focus on your lane, or you basically gonna crash.
Right.
So I don't know. Is really something about just being focused on what you're doing, being locked in. There's nothing like it, bro. There's nothing like just being locked in, and it's a very fragile state because like you take your eyes off the ball one time, you know.
That is it, the other team done score.
Yep.
They done from the time you take your eyes off the ball, the other team done score. Now, I mean, this analogy or this topic could go so many different ways, but I want to show you all something, this morning, right? And again, this is about transparency, right? I want to take a look at EU and UCAD. Now, for anyone who's in my class yesterday morning, I didn't do a class last night, but for anyone who's in my class yesterday morning, what was my original analysis on EU and UCAD? What was my original analysis? It will do one or two things, but the original one, what was it? The first thing that I said. Before that, something else. It's something else I said. Come on, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's something else I said. I want somebody to say it because I know y'all was paying attention. Come on, nobody, boy? Nobody? I said that EU has a possibility to reverse and UCAD has a possibility to reverse, right? And what I'll tell you, right? What I'll tell you is I looked at it and I say, you know what? Retail traders will adjust the trend line just to make this trend line work and blah, blah, blah. And all of, and I had this drawn. Look at here. I literally had it drawn. The exact structure that I teach, the exact structure that Forexia teaches, I had it drawn. And then looking at it further, upon further inspection and all of that, I literally just, I was like, you know what? I don't feel like it's a reversal, right? And I drew this. I literally had a forecast. Listen, go back and look at the recording. I had a forecast that it would drop and I deleted it, right? And I said, what I'll do is wait for the ECR, right? If it is going to reverse, I'll wait for the ECR, not just take it up here because personally, it did not match my rules, right? Just randomly selling it up here. It didn't match my rules. If you look at UCAD, I said the same thing. Go back and look at what I said. For those of you who are in my program, go and look at yesterday's class in particular. Before I called further sales on UCAD, right? I actually called a reversal, right? And I said, correct. I say, if we see anything in Asia, we'll take it. And then I disregarded it. Now, this is why coming to the topic is so important today, right? You trade your plan and you plan your trade. I said this, I have not taken a trade since GBP USD for this week. In other words, I haven't taken any trades yesterday nor today, right? So last night or not the night before, Asian obviously. What does that mean in terms of planning? It means that I did not lose anything, right? Because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And my trading plan says that I'm not just going to, I'm not going to say it's random, but I'm not just going to place sells or place buys on something if I'm not sure. And what is so interesting about that, right? What is so interesting about that is I was actually right initially, right? I was actually correct initially about the reversal. And I mean, I say this all the time that reversals don't occur nearly as much as we think they do. And it actually worked. The market actually did reverse. UCAD did reverse, EU did reverse, right? And then guess what? ACR, boom, right there. This is where your entry could be, and boom. And that's it, and it's gone. I have students in this right now. I have students in this right now. I have quite a bit of students in this right now, apparently, right? I wasn't available to take a look at it and to take the trade, but they planned their trade and they looked at it, they wait for the ECR, and boom, right? Look, Joel in it. So what I'm saying is about your planning. Now, because I planned to wait on Asian and to wait until I have an opportunity, uh, I didn't lose anything because you can't lose what you didn't do. They say that nothing and nothing equals nothing, right? Something plus something equals something, but nothing plus nothing equals nothing. Nothing plus something equals something. Let me repeat that. Nothing plus nothing, or nothing added to nothing is equal to nothing. In other words, if you don't do anything and you don't think about anything, nothing is going to come from nothing. But if it is you don't think about anything, but you do something, something could come from that. Correct. 0 plus 0 is equal to 0, but 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. In other words, because I did not have my rules and I had to follow my plan, my trading plan's rules. Don't trade if you don't see your rules. Guess what? Did I lose anything? I am still up for the week. Way more than I would normally be, if I were just to take any little trade that I feel to take. That is the problem that a lot of traders have today. I think that we as traders don't oftentimes think about the repercussions of blindly just getting into a trade. What do you think about that, Elwin?
That's that when you're just being dictated by your emotions. It's either that or you really don't have a clear understanding of what it takes to be a successful trader. And I'm not trying to sound cheesy, but the success really comes in having the plan. I always think about, how you used to talk about your setup in terms of elements. And you always would say it needs to have, I think it was 7 elements. It had to have each of those.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you were so precise and so clear on what you were looking for, that is what kind of, I have my own setup, right? It's very similar to yours, but the way you did that is what, it clarified to me, I need to have certain elements I'm looking for. And if I miss a trade, even though I know it's going to do this, or I believe it's going to do this, and my criteria is not being made or met, I'd rather miss that setup because, it's if you get it and you go against your rules, it's going to just build bad habits. If you don't hit it and you go against your rules, you just take another L and you're that further away from just sticking to your discipline. I just want to add one thing. It's not like if you mess up and you break your rules, you got to start from scratch. There's a saying that they say you start from experience. So, just keep going every day.
I like that. You start from experience. I love that.
Did I get that from you?
I don't know. I think so. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. All right. Now, I want to give a parallel, right? And this is something really interesting for people who have never heard me teach before, or for people who have never really come to my class before. I'm the type of person that, I like to look at things from a different angle. So I'll give you a parallel, another road alongside. So this is the road we are going down now. I'm giving you another road to go down. It's going to lead to the same destination. The destination is the house, which is where we're going. You normally would go down this road. Let's go down this road. We'll end up the same place. But I want you to take a look at this, what I'm going to tell you. Remember, I've said this before, and if you haven't heard me say this before, you're hearing it now. Trading is a business. It's a career. It's not a game. It's not a game. If you treat it like a game, you get results like a game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Listen, that we're not in this business to sometimes win and sometimes lose. We're in this business to win way more than we lose. And if it is we do lose, it's not the end of the world. And that's how some traders treat it. Some traders treat it like, you know what? I am willing to risk it all on this one trade just to maybe make 50%. No, that's nonsensical. Look at it this way. Remember, we said we treat it like a business because it is a business, right? Obviously, you know, you're making money so that you have to pay yourself, you have to pay your bills, you have to do things that you want to do. Think of how a business would operate. Every week, every quarter, every month, or whatever, the manager, the CEO, whatever, would call the host a meeting. I've said this before, call the host a meeting, right? With the individual managers of each department. You have the sales department, obviously responsible for selling goods and services. You have the research and development department responsible for, you know, making the goods and services better, you know, advancing their products for their customers and clients. You have accounts, which is responsible for numbers and control of the numbers, control of the dollar bills or the dollar signs, making sure that money ain't being lost, money not being stolen, money, you know, the company's in profit. This is a very important department. All of them are important, but this is very important, and this would be akin to risk management. And then you have HR, which would be, you know, related to the way that, you know, people in the company think, you know, the way they operate. You know, you have good characteristics. You have respect for your coworkers. You have respect for your higher ups. Let's look at these individual departments as a trader. Now, remember, as a trader, you're running your own business, right? We've spoken about this before. So if you've heard this before, this is just to reiterate. But you're running your own business, and you are wearing the ties or the hats or the suits of each of these managers. When in a business, the CEO would be up one person, the HR manager would be one person, the accounts manager would be one person, the research and development manager would be one person, the sales manager would be one person. In Forex, you are all of those persons, and the CEO and the workers. You have to wear the suit of the research and development manager. You have to wear the suit of the sales manager, the accounts manager, the HR manager. Let's look at what each of these managers will have to do in Forex. The accounts manager is responsible for risk management and how you basically, you know, make or lose money because it's a business, right? The research and development manager is responsible for back testing, making sure that you're constantly trying to, you know, expand to new horizons, you know, venture to new frontiers, learn new things, right? Make sense out of nonsense. Master whatever it is you're doing now. Make sure that the product or the service that you're doing is the best it could possibly be. The sales manager would be responsible for actually selling that service, would be selling those goods. And in this case, actually executing the product or the service. What is the service? Placing your trades. And who's the last one? Who's the last one? The
HR.
The HR manager would be responsible for the emotional control of the employees, your emotional control,
Right.
the way that you operate, the way that you think, the way that you breathe in the space that you're in, the way that you get along with the people around you, the way that you converse with your peers. You have to wear the suits or the hats or the ties of each of these persons, and there's no one around you to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself because it's your business and there's no one you can hire. And if you don't plan out these things in a written document, how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, how you're going to do this, if you don't do that, what happens? All fall down. There are many, many people who don't think about these things because they believe that to be successful in this industry, they believe that to be, you know, to win in what we're doing, all you need to do is snipe a tree. What do you think about that, Elwin?
I can't, it just makes me think of a lot of students I'll work with early on, and they'll say, I'll ask about their trading plan, and they'll say, well, no, I don't got one, but I got it in my head.
Well,
And if anyone tells me that, I know they're not a profitable trader.
That's bull. You see, the problem with that is you are basically, you lack array, meaning anything is anything for you. Anything is anything, right? If, however, it hang is how it swing. If the mango drop, it drop. If the dog die, the dog die. You understand? That's how you're thinking. You're operating from a space of you're not really sitting down and actually trying to plan anything. And the problem with that is you will get results accordingly. You will get results accordingly. Now, the beautiful thing is because I did not have my specific entry rules on something like UCAD, right? I was not allowed to take it. Had I taken it, I might have won because originally my analysis was to buy, but because I didn't see what I wanted to see, I didn't take it. And I rather, even though I would have been able to risk the 10 pips, I would have been able to risk it and actually still make it. I didn't feel like it was worth it at the time, and thus I left it alone. Now, what is so interesting with that to me is, again, something plus something is equal to something. Nothing plus nothing is equal to nothing, right? A mistrade is better than a lost trade. Let me repeat that. A mistrade is better than a lost trade. I rather miss the trade, right? Miss the trade completely, as opposed to take it against what my plan says and lose. You know why? Because then and only then, no one can be responsible. No one can be held accountable besides me. Because remember, I am wearing the suits of all of those managers. Agree or disagree, bro?
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say it reminds me of your Instagram post, and I was gonna ask, it's kind of like the difference between attracting your trade and chasing your trade. And it's a thin line between that, you
Correct.
know.
Correct.
So you don't want to chase UCAD. You rather just miss it and attract, your setup that you feel comfortable with, that meets all your criteria. There's no need to chase. There's no desperation here.
Correct. Right. I'll give you an example. Right. With that exact concept, right? The reality is I had to wait for GU. Now, I wasn't forcing it because many times I might have tried to buy it, but I didn't because, again, that's not a part of my plan. I have to wait for my rules. And in waiting, I didn't force it. I let it come to me. And when it came to me, you all would have seen the video on my YouTube. You would have seen how I was getting on. I was like, oh yes, this is it here today. Because I knew that was, I mean, I don't want to say I knew, but I had a pretty good feeling that was it. It came, I attracted it to me. And I traded my plan. I planned my trade and I traded my plan. The problem is, again, traders don't think. They don't think. They just rush into it. If I say here what's going on, possible buys on silver. Before I even explain why people don't open the empty fund in the damn trade. Because you're not thinking, you're not planning it out. I'd say possible buys on silver. But before I could even say the next thing, which is, but not yet, you done in silver already. And you're like, oh shit. Shit, you say not yet. Because you're not thinking. Your trading plan does not say, or you don't have a trading plan to tell you, don't rush into anything. Because as a business, rushing into opportunities could obviously affect your P&L, which is your profit and loss. And remember, trading is a business. Trading is a business. So what I really want you to pay attention to listening to this going forward is be very, very, very ginger. Ginger. If you know why when they say ginger, you could only take so much ginger before it starts to affect your senses. Be very, very finicky, very, very picky with how you do things going forward, because that's what being a trader really is. People just think being a trader just involves, just being a snipe trader. You see price going up, price going up, it going up, and you say, well, right here is where you think you can sell, and it's selling, and you post it and you say snipe trade. What was your reason for selling here? 90-something% of the people I asked that say, well, it was looking like it was rejecting. You're building your house with glass. You're building your house with glass. Sorry, right?
Right. Unless that's what you look for every single time, and that's your setup, and you got it figured out, and you got odds around it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the saying, "Stand for nothing, you fall for anything."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think like people need to realize the reason why you can be like, oh, GU has juicy buys and you see it and it's clear. And even if you're wrong, you know, you see what you see, it's because you actually have something you're looking for. You're sitting still and you're observing. But when you're kind of looking at every setup, wondering what Brandon doing, what Dylan doing, and you don't frame it right, and you kind of just, you know, just chasing, like Brandon say, that's when you can end up struggling. And then you won't even see the clear setups, the stuff that you know, and it comes to Thursday and you're like, man, why didn't I take that clear setup? I know this. It's because you were just kind of running around with it like a chicken with your head cut off, for lack of a better term.
Yep. Yep. And you know, I think I'll post this on YouTube and, you know, and tag you in it and stuff. But I think the topic that I'll post when I'm posting it on YouTube is being wrong does not necessarily mean you have to lose. Because think about it. I was wrong. Not so? Yeah, what y'all think? I was wrong about this. I was wrong. I actually said, based on what I was seeing at the time, I actually said that there's possibility for it to continue. I was clearly wrong. Did I lose anything, though? Because it wasn't matching my rules. Did I lose anything, though? And that's the thing, a lot of the time, sometimes even in my Asian sessions, when I would literally fan through all of the pairs and people are like, whoa, he did that quickly. How are you allowed? How can you do that so quickly and still be so accurate at the same time? I would literally open a pair and it's like, right, AUD USD sells. And it's like, how you know that so fast? It's because first things first, I know exactly what I'm looking for. Again, based on, you
Exactly.
know, each element that I'm looking for of structure or of my structure, right? And two, the reality is that when you're really doing this so many times, right? Or you've done this so many times, when you know exactly what you're looking for, if you don't see it, you don't take it because that's not a part of your plan. That's why I am allowed to literally listen. I have people time me. I have my students time me. Right, guys? So we're doing analysis now. So speed round. Let's see how fast we can do all of these. It is 9:26 a.m. and I start. AUD card, nothing. AUD CHF, nothing. AUD JPY, nothing. And I already analyzed 3 pairs because I know what I'm looking for and I don't see it on those pairs. I've already analyzed them seconds. But then if I see something like, let's just say your AUD had a potential setup. I say, right. And I slow down. And notice if you go back and you watch how I do it, I might slow down. I might say, right. And I zoom in and I say, okay, right. Okay, well, we're seeing something here. Boom, boom, boom. Right. Okay. Boom, momentum, blah, blah, blah. And I would actually take a little while and explore it and explain what I'm seeing. And then when I finish, I say, right, so there's possible buys on your AUD. Next. And I go in Eurocard, nothing. And I start back again and it's peace. You know why? Because your plan or my plan basically outlines exactly what to look for. It outlines exactly what to look for. And in doing so, knowing exactly what to look for, that helps me take better trades. It helps me take better setups, right? But most people don't do that. Most people don't do that, right? They just, again, according to what you said, you stand for anything, you fall. What did you stand for nothing, you fall for anything, right?
Right.
And that's the problem. You see, well, anything is anything. You say, right, well, you're a GBP, it dropping, right, sell it. Come on. No, that's not how you operate, right? It's so ridiculous with me that I've even developed something, buy a sell candle, sell a buy candle, because I want to be so precise. In other words, if I see a big red candle like this, there's nothing in the world that could convince me to sell this. There is literally nothing in the world that could convince me to sell this. Because again, understanding how candlesticks work and how they are formed and what the anatomy of a candlestick is, right? If that's a candlestick, I know a red candle closes down here. Why would I want to sell the close of a red candle? That would mean I'm selling low. That's not the principle that you learn. Again, the plan that we try to do is buy low, sell high. You would be selling low if you sold a sell candle. You'll see how deep planning could go. There's nothing that could convince me to sell here. Nothing. Not you, Elwin, not none of my students, not my mother, not my grandmother, not God, nothing. Nobody could sell me, can sell me on selling here. You understand?
And that's a
Because
good
that's not
feeling because we can't control a lot in this market, but this is something we can control,
correct.
ourselves and where
Correct.
we enter.
Right? There are many, many things that we cannot control in this market, but the things that you can control, you should control. And you could control your entry. We can't control what direction it's going to go. We definitely can't do that, but you could control where you enter the market, though. You could plan out where you enter the market. And I've said this before. You could fund your account from now until kingdom come, so long as you do not commit any trades to that market. You don't say buy or sell, or buy limit or sell limit, or buy stop or sell stop. You cannot lose any money. The broker can't go and give the money from your account to the market because you didn't plan or you didn't take any trades based on your plan. You only lose when you don't pay attention to what is going on. You don't sit down and think about what is going on around you in the market and just randomly buy. And it comes back to what you say, and I've heard you say this before, there are no losses, only lessons. Agree or disagree?
100% agree.
Right? So
Yep.
this morning, it's just something I really wanted to touch on. Plan your trade, trade your plan. Right? Plan your trade, trade your plan. No setup, no trade.
I just want to add one thing. For us especially you and for me as I'm getting on your level, bro, year after year, we know what it means to look for a good setup and, high probability and all these principles we talk about. And I know a lot of the newer traders, you're still trying to figure it out and you have questions like, how do I know this is a good setup? How do I know, just these simple questions. And these classes with Brandon, even myself, this is what we're doing. We're doing our best to articulate, what it's like on this side of, of the battlefield. So just stay diligent and write down something, make some type of rules. You can even start, like Brandon has laid out his rules. I've shared my exact trading plan whiteboard several times. If that has to be your starting place, so be it. But as you start to, I think the word would be crystallize what you're doing in this trading world, it will start to become more clear. So, just if you don't have a plan, if you have nothing written down, you got in your head today, just do it. Just take this weekend, is what bad can happen from it. And yeah, just go for it, guys.
Yep. I have two things to add to that. First things first, all trading plans are not created equal. Just like peers, just like humans, we are all different. You trade your plan. If I give you the template to make my plan, you'll make my plan. What I want you to do, build your trading plan around your life. Remember, your life is not supposed to revolve around Forex. Forex is supposed to revolve around your life. Forex or trading has to revolve around your schedule, right? You should not adapt your schedule or all of your schedule to match Forex and to match trading because you're coming into this business, obviously, to make money and live a free life. If you're sitting in front of your charts day after day, whole day, every day, 9, 12 hours a day, are you truly free? Are you truly free? You're not, right? And then worse things worse, or worse things yet, you are actually taking signals from someone. You're not truly free. You have to wait on someone to give you a trade to take. You have to wait on them to tell you what trade to take. You're not free. Build your trading plan and fit Forex into it. I've said this before. If there are important things that you have to do throughout the course of the day, include them in your trading plan. If you know that every day at 6 p.m., 6 or 3 p.m., you have to walk your cat on the roof of your house, include it in your trading plan. Because now you know that at 6 or 3 p.m. every day, you can't be looking at the market. You have to go climb up on top of your roof with your cat to walk your cat on the roof. If you know that at 7:12 a.m., you have to fly to the moon every day in January, include it in your plan. Let these things revolve around what you have to do, right? Let them revolve around what you have to do, right? It's very important. So that's what I say. Many times I've given a template on what you should include in the plan. I've even made a post on it, what you can or what you should include in the plan. But there's no limit. There's no right or wrong way to create a trading plan, right? If you want some pointers, follow my IG. There's follow my Instagram. There's a post somewhere there, and however many hundreds of posts. There's a post somewhere there, discussing what you could or should include in your trading plan. But it's not set in stone. If you don't put them, it's not the end of the world. But
My biggest advice is I always say produce then reduce. Like, don't even worry if you got too much. If you are like, oh, I take a Dylan reversal and a Brandon ECR and you're still trying to figure it out, just write all that shit down and start to reduce. I'll tell you, my trading plan started like over 10, 15 pages. I literally wrote it all. Now I could fit it on half a page.
mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. And you know, the next thing I'm trying to remember, is so bad. What was the first thing you said when you started to talk just now? Not this last one. There was another topic that I wanted to touch on.
Shoot, I'm not sure. Crystalline,
Not
check the
crystallized,
chat. Let's
something
see.
else. Something else. I can't even remember. Right? It's so much
I'm not sure.
nonsense. This is just how we literally talk and ramble off the top of our heads. You understand? It's just things that whatever you think about is what comes out. You know how it is go, right? Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
so basically, what I wanted to touch on is, you know, plan your trade, trade your plan, no setup, no trade, right? Um, Today's Friday, right? If you are in any trades, by all means, hold them, right? Personally, I don't think I would be entering anything new today, because anything that would have reversed more or less has reversed already. So this is not a session that we usually look for continuations. We look for reversal, but today's Friday, trap day, trap Fridays, right? So realistically, there's not much need to do analysis today, right? Um, Looking at EU, I feel like it could keep dropping. I did say that the next area EU might try to go would be this area. So maybe
yeah, that makes
Sunday, maybe
sense.
even Monday, you could see maybe if they see our rules, guess what? We're taking them. If we don't take them. It's that simple, right? Um, I'm really trying to remember what it is we were speaking about, That busting my brain here now, boy. Trying to remember what it was the point I was going to make. I can't remember. But I digress that in this game, my friends, this game that we play, right? The majority of what we do is not the trading itself. It's not. It really isn't, right? And that's a mistake. I think so many people, more or less, more or less 90% of traders make, right? That to be successful, you just have to master a setup. There's another student come to me and ask me, I think it was about e-scalping, which is EMA scalping using the moving average, right? And I told him, I said, that's only basically an entry style. If you don't have the proper understanding of the structure surrounding all of these moving averages, you will have a problem. You will have hard time actually being successful and consistently scalping using the EMA because you don't know what direction the market gonna go. Right? I say it all the time:
Yeah,
direction over entry. If you don't know what direction the market gonna go, listen, you could have the best entry technique in the world, you'll never win because the market not in your favor.
yeah. Ian, I'm not Ian, Evan. I'm, your old student. He always told me, he was like, without having that bias, or he was talking about why he'll use fundamentals. He said just having your setup or your entry method is like basically trying to paint a picture without any vision for the picture. And I always say, when traders are trying to put together their plan, just remember your entry criteria is part of your setup. So, just think of it like a Venn diagram. The setup and then entry is in that. So when you're going through your setup, you got to cover everything. And then you're going to, what you're looking for, how you're forming your bias, all of that. Then you come to how you get in the trade. Then that's your entry method. Oh, and then one other thing, don't forget to mention your exit plan, whether you're going to trail, whether you have TPs, because, you know, that was something I ignored early on. And then once I got in the trade, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. and my emotions would dictate it. But once I crystallized it in the trading plan, from there, it's just attempting to stick to my rules and adjusting them based on, what DNR, what research determines.
Yep.
That's all I have, bro.
Yep.
Thanks for letting me chime in today.
No worries, bro. No worries at all.
Sorry.
Do we have any questions, guys? Before we take some questions, I wanted to touch on this, and I touch on it ever so often. People oftentimes, people who, they come into these classes, you've never heard the way that we trade or the way that we think about the market before, right? And you come into these classes and you hear topics such as this, and the first thing that comes into your head is like, what are you talking about? Trading is a business. But get to the signals and you want to control, one, what the teacher is talking about, and two, you only come in for the signals. You will never be successful. You will never be successful if that's the way you operate. Never. I'm putting it out there now. If you join a Forex webinar or a session or a class, just so that you could actually just hear the signals that the teacher or the speaker is trying to give out, you'll never be successful because you're lying to yourself. You're saying, and this is the answer that 90-something% of traders give when you ask them, why do you trade Forex? 90-something% of them will say, I want to be financially free. I don't think people know what that even means. Financial freedom means that you're free and making money and you don't have to worry, but it also means that you don't need to rely on anybody else to make your money. You stand on your own 2 feet, according to what Daniel is saying here. If there's no signal, it does not matter. If there is no analysis from someone else, it does not matter. If I am the signal provider, as some people like to call, right? And something were to happen to me, God forbid, today, and I'm giving you the signals that make all your money for you, and something would happen to me, where do you get your signals from now? You're not financially free because now you have to go and find a new signal provider because I'm not able to do it anymore. You are not financially free. And then all of a sudden you go and you take out, you're making money with the signal, I'm not saying signals aren't, some signal services not going to make you money, but you're making money with the signal, And you say, yes, right, I'm living the life I want to live now. And you go and you take out a brand new Benz on terms. You understand? You're going and you're paying for this Benz on terms because with somebody's signals, you're paying for it monthly because you say, all right, this signal's good, so this man's signal's good, so I could buy the Benz now. And then something come and happen to the signal provider. How are you paying for the Benz? You know something? They're going to repossess it because now you cannot afford to pay for this Benz anymore because the money that you were getting, you weren't actually getting it for yourself. Someone else was giving it to you. So when you come into my class and you say, but forget about all of this nonsense that you're talking about. Just get to the analysis now, get to the signals. You'll never be successful, or you'll never experience any long-term or long-standing success because you are lazy. You're not trying to actually make, you're not actually trying to make sense out of nonsense by yourself, for yourself. You are actually just, you left one 9 to 5 and you come to another one. That's it. And this one is way more risky because now you need to find that quote unquote good signal provider. All right. And if you don't work and you don't get that good signal provider, you're not making any money. The advantage of staying in the 9 to 5 that you left is at the end of the month, you're probably going to get paid. Here, that is not guaranteed. I have had red months before. I have spoken about red months before. I've spoken about red weeks before, meaning down. You're down on the month. How are you going to pay for the Benz then? These are the problems that traders don't understand. They don't like to think about these things. You understand? And they think that to be a good trader, you just need to master setup or find a good signal provider. No, it's in planning your trade and trading your plan, my friends. And if it is you don't do this, you don't think about the way that you do this, right? And think about the way that you approach this conundrum, this problem, then that is why you're losing your money. What do you think about that, bro?
Completely agree, bro. Completely agree. And it's really like, it doesn't really, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but you can have any damn strategy, any system, any rules, any beliefs on the market. It's just really about you shaping your trading around it, I don't want to go too far off topic, but just to mention something like correlation, right? is it true? Would you say you don't believe in correlation, bro, or you
I
don't
don't believe
focus on it in your
I don't
trading?
believe in correlation the way that people believe in it. That because something like UJ is going up, that gold is going to go down. Sometimes there's a very high chance that both UJ and gold could go up at the same time, and I've proven that. Right? They correlate, in accordance with so many different things. Right? But go
But that's
ahead.
not part of your elements to look for a setup per se,
Correct.
right? Okay. Now, Mark English, he will not take a trade without correlation confirmations.
Right.
Now, who's wrong? Who's right? Who's the better trader?
Correct.
To me, you guys are both masters in your own right, and I learned from you both. And I just think that's the perfect example, because it's almost like a religious, belief in the market. And based on your beliefs, you can be profitable based on that. And I don't know, I really just think that's like a crazy example.
And to add something to that, right? I'm glad I could talk about this when I actually remember what I was going to say. To add something to that, right, is we have to understand, right? This is so freaky. We have to understand that there's no right or wrong way to approach anything in this market. Don't get me wrong. I have a big belief that yes, you should use a stop loss or whatever, right? But if you don't and it's working for you, then by all means, why change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But the problem is a lot of traders, things not working for them and they're still doing it. But I digress. I could be absolutely wrong about everything I've been saying for the past how many years? 5 years? About 5 years. I could be absolutely wrong about every single thing that I've spoken about. But my results say otherwise, right? It means that what I'm doing makes sense to me, because coming back to me running my own business, it's just about me making sense to me. Whatever I'm doing making sense to me. And if it makes sense to me and I could base analysis and biases and entries around that and have the trades go in my favor, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So according to what you said, there's no right or wrong way. There's no who's right and who's wrong, right? And this is why I've said it before. Listen, there are many, and you just said it, there are many setups that work. There are people who actually trade support and resistance and surprisingly make money with it. This is why when I am clowning traders who trade support resistance, I often add a word: trading support and resistance blindly. You are blindly trading support and resistance. You're not looking at all of the other factors that come into play. You just see a line, you draw the line, and you just sell it. Resistance. You just see a line, you draw a line, boom, buy it. You're blindly doing it. You're not thinking. You just literally see a line there and you just buy it or sell it. But there are traders who actually sit down and analyze, okay, well, this is what's going on, that's what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And those are the traders who are in the minority, right? So there are other setups that work. I know BTMM, beat the market maker. I know that works. Obviously, the Forexia style works. Obviously, my style works. Your style works. Human style works. Mark style works. All of these other styles, they work, right? I have an understanding that ICT in a circle trader. I hear their style works. Steve Morrow, his style works. Blah blah blah. The problem is what they are doing follows their plan. And I have students that come and they learn from me. They come under me or whatever, and they create their own plans based on what I teach them. You did that, not so? Yo,
Big
Elwin?
facts, bro. My
Oh,
setup is basically your setup.
yeah,
Yep, that's it. I
right,
just explain it through my lens,
correct.
and I use indexes to give me my bias on where a currency might go. But when it comes to what I'm looking for, candlestick language, entry criteria, it's the same. And that's why most of my students, I'm gonna send them to you, because they're gonna ask how I enter. I'm gonna say, just take ECR. Oh, you haven't studied with Brandon? Go hit up Brandon. Go get ECR. You need to know this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So to end the class on a high note, right? There are how many people in here? 63, including yourself and me. And here's what we'll do. Send either Elwin or myself or both. Send both Elwin and myself your trading plan or anytime over the weekend. and I'll look over it. Elvin would look over it. Would you do that, bro?
Yep, that's what I'm here for, bro.
We would look over it and see what's going on, if you could improve on anything. There's 63 people in here. I'm willing to bet money that 15% of all of those 63 people would actually do what we say. Send it, right? I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna be able to look over it right away, but I will try to look over it over the weekend and try and see if you could make any advancements anywhere and if it's good, right? And send it. And I'm telling you that there will be people in this class listening to this and be like, nah, we ain't doing that. That ain't making no sense. You don't even have a trading plan to say you could send. And you say, you know what, this is making no sense. Let me just continue sniping trades. But you are the person who is doing that. The person who's doing that, you are going to be the person who's going to be feeding your liquidity back into the market. For when we take in trades that winning, your money going in our pockets. So just saying, I just putting that out there because as you know, the losers feed the winners. You don't have a trading plan, trust me, don't expect to win consistently. Right? Just putting that out there. I just making it known. You know, I just making sure you understand why you're losing. Because I believe that is important. I believe it is important to actually understand why you might be losing. You might win some trades, you know, and you win, and you flip out to a $200 account, a little $4,000 or something like that. But then 2 days later, it's back to $200. I know people have had experience or have experience with that. It's because you're not, according to what Elvin say, you stand for anything, right? Or you stand for nothing, so you fall for anything. You understand?
Precisely.
So send whatever, whoever wants to do it, send it. Right? And we'll take a look at it whenever we get a chance. All right. And if you can make any improvements, we will try to do so. We'll try to implement any improvements. And if you have not written your document before and you want pointers, Elvin, you have anything touching on where you or how you built your plan, or do you not?
Yeah, just back to what I said, produce, then reduce, write it all down. And then from there, you can start to clarify. But until you actually, have a journal, have a trading plan, and something I start doing, Tony got me on, is tracking my performance with spreadsheets. I do it for every trade, and it might seem like, oh, tedious, but for me, I can see exactly what I'm doing. It holds me accountable. And then that's when you could really start to figure out what you're messing up. What are you doing wrong? Oh, I keep entering on this same candle or the same pattern and it's always wrong. I'm doing this at this time of day. You can start to find your tendencies, and this is where you can start to gain success. I always say you treat trading like a sport because this is a high performance sport. We are using our minds, but those teams in sports that kill it, they have those metrics. They're measuring everything down to the heart rate of the athletes. And yeah, I'm not going to turn this to a new topic, but just write it down, just do it, just take the action now. Don't think about it too much, man. Like, we can think about it later.
Okay, so two things I want to add. First things first, I have a post on my Instagram, Atikata Trading. I have a post on my Instagram touching on what you can or can't, or what you should or could put in your trading plan. Just go and look for it, right? And follow while you're at it, right? And secondly, I agree. I mean, we're not gonna turn this into another topic because we'll keep talking. But and you both know, we both know that we could talk for fucking hours, bro. We could,
Yep.
right? But again, as you said, that the analytics, listen, think about why Facebook gives you analytics, why Instagram gives you insights, Google gives you insights or analytics, right? All of these things is data that you could use. You understand? So I think I'm going to end this here. Unfortunately, Human wasn't able to make it. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe power went out, or I don't know what's going on.
Fell asleep.
He probably fell asleep or whatever. But
He'd be up all night.
yeah, but I digress. It was really a nice session. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. I am going to post this to YouTube. I will tag Elvin, or I'll include it, in the title, and I might post a small snippet to Instagram and tag you as well, bro. But
do.
I really hope that you guys learn something. I hope that you grab something from this, because that is really the point. Coming and learning something, coming and just getting a signal, you're not going to learn anything. Half the time when people have signal services and stuff on Telegram, and they just send you a message, buy AU now, 1 million pip stop loss, 10 pip take profit. What in that is there to learn? You have no clue as to why they're seeing what they're seeing. This is why I do my quote unquote signals in a live setting, so you could hear what I'm thinking. You could understand why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. Right? Guys, I really hope that you have a great weekend. If you are taking any trades today, please practice proper stop loss placement and proper risk management. Other than that, I am going to post this to YouTube today, hopefully. And yeah, guys, have a great day. Peace out. Elvin, thanks a lot for joining in, bro. Really, it's always a pleasure having you here. And yeah, peace out, guys.
Peace, bro. Peace, everyone. Have a great weekend. Send those trading plans.